We're actually heading up to Knockbawn Children's Burial Ground here in Derrygoolan South. This particular children's burial ground is marked on the Ordnance Survey map as a graveyard. And during the famine here, in 1850, there was a lady, the Widow McNamara, and her son, found dead in their house here in Derrygoolan, and they were actually buried up on the top of this mountain. It's a wonderful little site with all of the grave markers associated with children's burial, but what's important to us here today is the link back to the famine. These are two larger boulders in comparison to the slabs and the smaller stones that are marking the children's burials. And according to the local tradition, that when the Widow McNamara and her son were buried here, that they were placed beneath these boulders. So these appear to be, they're in a pair, these appear to be the burial places of the Widow McNamara and her son.
A Woodford correspondent states that awful deaths by starvation occurred on the 21st of April. The Widow McNamara and her son, a boy of 15 years of age, both died of hunger, and having no friends to bury them, they were left 9 days in a miserable hut where they lived. They were paupers, and some people demanded a coffin of the relieving officer, which he refused, and in consequence they had to bury them in their old garments on the top of a hill in the wild mountains of Derrygoolan in the Portumna Union, where there is a place marked out for burying such people as can get no coffins, and where numbers lie interred that died of destitution. The relieving officer of the Union, Mr. Andrew Martin, is often blamed, for there is no workhouse yet built in Portumna, and he is sending the poor staggering creatures to Loughrea and Scariff Workhouse with tickets, where they get no admittance.
When we examine the Derrygoolan graveyard, we actually find that there are numerous burials in it. There's probably 60 or 70 stone markers that we can actually see. And you can take it that there are more burials than that in it. These burial grounds, often referred to as lishins or killians, were often used to bury strangers, people that might be found in the community, maybe dead in the community or that, people whose religion was unknown to the local population, sometimes suicides, sometimes people that would have died, I suppose, under suspicious circumstances. Often soldiers or people like that would be buried in them. These are very sad sights in all sorts of ways. First of all, when the infant died, the infant was removed, usually taken away by the father and maybe a neighbour, usually taken to the site at night. It was believed unlucky to actually encounter somebody heading off with this little baby to the graveyard. The mother herself would have lost this baby, both lost the baby physically, but would also in her mind have lost this baby to limbo. Very unlikely that she ever knew the exact spot or that she ever was allowed to visit the graveyard herself. So, in every sense, this baby was taken away, placed in a liminal site and physically placed in limbo.